Okay, all right. How is everybody else? Sorry, multitasking. I should not be doing that. So today, we're starting on some leaves. So I'm really excited because I feel like the leaves just really bring a lot of like oomph to it. Do you know what I mean? So what we're going to do today is the fishbone stitch, and we're going to do it on all of the leaves that have the line in the middle. I believe there are 6. There's 1 here, 2 here, 2 here, and 1 here. So again, it's the fishbone stitch. I would probably say 6 strands or 4 strands for this. I'll probably use 4 just so that you can see it a little bit. I'll do this one. Is the first one I'm going to do. I'm going to use a really nice lush color green. And I'm going to show you on my iPad really quickly how to do the fishbone stitch, because there's kind of like the proper way to do it, and then there's the way I do it, which is kind of cheating a little bit. So I'm going to show you both. So yeah, the first way, okay, is you've got your little, what is going on here? What's going on here? I would like to sketch. Okay, so you've got your leaf like this. Okay, so the first way is to make a tiny little stitch here. And then every little stitch after this is going to crisscross. So going from the left to the right or the right to the left. It doesn't matter which one you do first. Hello. You're just going to do it the other way the next time. So you go from this one here all the way to this side, here all the way to this side. And then these stitches going like this, you're going to pay special attention to the outside edge, because wherever you put your stitches here, that's going to be the edge of your leaf. Okay. You're going to continue right, left, right, left, right, left. And what you're going to get is a little crisscross down the middle where these threads crisscross, and it's going to look almost like a braid. So this side will kind of be like this, and this side here will be like this, and there'll be a little crisscross down the middle. Now, I think this uses a lot of thread, so I tend to not do it this way. The way that I do it, and the way I'm going to show you, is normally there's a little line. Normally there's like a line down the middle like this. Okay, and you can choose to make it go all the way up to the tip if you want. I'll do one like that. Or you can have it down a little bit like this. Okay, so the first one, let me just change the color so you can see it a little bit better. The first one, you're going to go just down the middle like here. And then we'll make 2 stitches, 1 on each side, that kind of go 3/4 of the way. And then another one that goes down the same way. This is just filling up this top part here. I know I'm going a little bit fast, but you're going to see it a lot better when I can actually stitch it. Okay. And then this next one, you're going to go all the way, but instead of going to the other side, you're just going to go to this line on either side. Now, if you're good at imagining where the lines are, then go ahead and just imagine them. If you are not very good at this, then I would draw the lines on either side. And that's what I always do. I find that it gives a little bit of guidance, but it also really keeps me on track, so I know exactly where I need to put my stitches. So the first one, we're going to go from this edge, paying special attention to this outside edge here, okay, to this line. And we want to try and keep the same angle. So do you see how this one kind of cuts it off a little bit? We want to try and keep the same angle if we can. Okay, that's a little bit better. And then this next one is going to go from this side to this side. And a good way to try and figure out where to go, so you go from the right to the left, or the left to the right, yeah, then the right to the left, is to draw a little line here like that. And if they kind of meet there almost, then you're probably on the right track. So do the next one. Again, just to that line. And what you end up with is the same look with these little V's, the little braid down the middle. But you're not using as much thread. And it makes a little bit of a neater leaf, I think at least. Okay, and then in the very end, you're just going to fill those last couple little stitches in with a straight stitch. Stem stitch. In my head, I was thinking till it like touches the stem. Yeah. Some of them have stems, some of them don't. So you can use these for things that do have stems, or you can use them for just like little flower leaves like we've got that are just kind of like tucked into the flowers. Okay. So let's go with this first one first. This right here will show you how to do this, the start of the little one. Yeah. Again, I'm only going to go to this line because that's how I do mine. If you want to experiment with going all the way to the outside edge with your stitches, meaning all the way over like that, then by all means go ahead. So let's do one where the braid or the crisscross goes all the way up to the tip. And then we'll do another one where you kind of start a little bit lower. And you can see the difference between those two. I said earlier we were going to do 4 strands or 6 strands, and that's completely up to you on what you would like to do. Actually, I haven't picked a color for this, so I'm just going to use this color, I think. Yeah, I'm just going to use this one. So let's just grab that. Yeah, for time's sake, I'm going to just use 6, and that way we don't have to split them. But 4 would also look lovely because it will take you more stitches to stitch, but they'll be a little bit more delicate, if you know what I mean. They won't be so chunky. All right, let's draw our lines in. So I said I'm going to start with this one here first. Joining quickly at the end of my lunch. Can't wait to stitch after work. Oh, love that. Okay, so like I said, we're going to go all the way to the top. Yeah, so I'm going to make my middle line down the middle. And I've got a line on each side. So we're going to start with our little, well, first I'm going to zoom in. We're going to start with our little stitch, and that's just to fill the tip in. Because if you just start with the crisscross, you're going to end up with no tip. Yeah, so you need to do something in the middle there. Let's do this little, just a little one like that. It doesn't have to be so small. Okay. Now we will start our each side. So right to left. Why do I keep switching them? It's left to right for me because I always do the left one first. Not sure why. And we're going to end on that line, on the red line, okay? And again, this right here, if you almost like picture or imagine that your needle goes straight across like a 90-degree angle and not like this, yeah, straight across. That's where you're going to need to put it. And again, this doesn't have to be like super perfect or anything like that. Yeah, nature's not perfect. It's more the crisscross that you need to think about. Also, think about how many strands you're using and how thick your thread is. Because we want them to be just like one kind of thread length away from each other. So if we put our next one like here, yeah, so if I come up way down here and I keep that parallel line that we need to keep them all in line, you're going to have space in between your stitches and you're going to be able to see the fabric. And this is not one of those stitches where you can just go back and like put another one in. You probably wouldn't notice so much, but it won't have the same like left, right pattern to it, you know? So it's one of those things that an everyday person probably wouldn't notice, but someone like me would be like, ha, they missed a stitch. And you would notice because it's your work. So we're just keeping that, oops. I caught my brick. I had a question yesterday about why I have a brick. And I think I say this every single stitch along. But this is actually a lap stand. So you're supposed to sit on this part here. You're supposed to sit on that. Okay. I'm using it as a table stand. So I've stolen a brick from my mother-in-law's backyard. And yeah, that's what I use it for. So it keeps my stand from moving whilst I work. So I don't have to sit on it on the table. And these go back and forth like this all the way up and all the way down. And they make a really cute little leaf pattern. You can try, someone tried doing like one color on one side and one color on the other side. So having like two needles and like alternating. That's quite technical. But you just want to keep them, like that's a bit of a sketchy stitch there. You just want to keep them parallel on each side. So the ones that go this way are all going to be parallel to each other. And the ones that go this way are all going to be parallel to each other. We want to try and keep that same line, but then also keeping the line of the outside of the leaf, because we're not going to do an outline on these. Obviously you can. This is what I was talking about yesterday. Only you know when to stop your embroidery. You only know when to stop adding details. Only you know when enough is enough. So something that might be like way too much for me, you might think, oh, she could have done an outline on that, or she could have added a stem, or she could have added this. It might not be enough for you, you know? So you kind of need to sit and think, does it need something? Do I feel like it needs something? Would another color be good here? Would another stitch be good here? Sometimes you can just use the same stitches, but a different color, or sometimes you can use the same color, but a different stitch, and it gives it a really nice, you know, just jazzes it up a bit. Only you know when your embroidery is finished. I think that's why the stitch-alongs are so fun as well, because so many people, they add so many different things to it. And sometimes I think, I never even thought of that. So fun. So yeah, you get this really pretty crisscross. And you see I'm running out of space for the crisscrossing here. Don't be tempted to start to take your thread and keep putting it down on the line when there's no line, okay? You want to try and keep these here parallel to each other. So they're all almost like a satin stitch on the one side, yeah? So I'm going to have some spaces here, like I showed on the iPad, that are just going to be straight stitches, and that's going to be filling in the bottom part of this leaf, because if not, I'm going to end up with a leaf that's got one straight edge here and then it goes round. And I don't want that. I want it to have a nice round shape, like me. So again, pay attention to the outside line and how that curves like that, because you might also have to start making your stitches shorter to kind of make it go back in and kind of tuck in a little bit there. So many things to think about with these, you know, with embroidery. And the very last ones, you can just put them right down in the point, as long as you're happy with the outline. Just right down in the point there. So that's actually the same hole that I'm using there. As long as you're happy with how the shape of it looks, then you're good to go. So let's zoom out and see what we've made. So that's what it looks like. So you're going to get these here on an angle this way, these there on an angle that way, and you're going to get this lovely crisscross like this in the middle. Yeah. The back will look like this if you didn't have a knot there, like I have it made a knot. And the middle part will be open because that's where I drew my lines. Yeah? Okay, let's do the one where I start a little bit farther down and we do the 3/4 stitches. So if you weren't here at the beginning of the video, don't worry. I will save it. But I'll show you just right now as well. So the other way to do these, you won't have a crisscross from tip to tip. All right, so this one, it crosses has the crisscross down the middle, all the way from this tip all the way down to the bottom. And actually, I probably could have added a couple little more stitches down at the bottom, but that's okay. Okay. Just doing the knot. Let's do this big one here. I'm going to turn it around, turn the hoop around, so that I can work on it this way, so I don't have to work on it upside down. Is anyone else weird like that? I'm so weird like that. Hello? Hey, friends. That's so cute. Okay, let's just shove that in there like that. So we're going to do this next one where you have space at the top that you're going to fill in with a straight stitch down the middle, and then you're going to, I always say like hide some stitches or tuck some stitches, but they're not really tucked. They just go down 3/4 of the way, and that makes it to fill up the top part, and then you do your crisscross the other 3/4 of the way. So let's do that right now. I'm going to do this one here. And firstly, I need to make my 2 lines on each side. Hello. All right, so the first one is your straight stitch. Can we see this okay? And zoom in a little bit more maybe. Okay, the next one on each side. Yeah, one on the left, one on the right. We're not going to go down through the same hole. We're going to actually not even make it as long as the first one. So we're just going to go kind of 3/4 of the way down, or 3/5 of the way down if you want to be like a really mathematical here. You're going to put one of these on each side, and this is to fill up the very, very tip of the leaf before we start doing the crisscross pattern, because we want the crisscross to be down here at the bottom. These look a little bit more elegant, I feel. Okay, so now we've done 3 stitches, one down the middle all the way, and then one on each side 3/4 of the way. The next one are going to be down the same hole as the first one. So again, paying attention to the outside edge, because we're not really going to do a outline on these. Obviously you can, but that's not the plan for right now. We're working on our stitches and making them really nice. All right. Now the next one, if you lay it down like this, you can kind of see that we can start our crisscross now, because it goes on the same angle here as these other stitches that we've just put down, and we've kind of filled in the tip so that it kind of fans around. Yeah? And this is also where you can follow your thread and put your needle down right there. Now, if I were to put it up here like this, I'm trying to stab through the video. I'm not doing very well. You would end up with something like that, and it would cut off the stitches that we've just done here at the top. Do you see? So you want to try and keep this at almost the same angle. Obviously not down here, because then you would end up with a white space here. You just want to get almost the same angle, tight but not overlapping. Okay? So it kind of just lays like that. Let's do one up on this side. Now, sometimes it takes 5 stitches, sometimes it takes 7, but they're mostly in odd numbers, because remember we did that first one down the middle. So there's 1, and then we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 on each side. So we continue. I could have probably put this even up a little bit closer, because look, you can see that there. So let's just undo that, because that's going to make me not be happy with my embroidery. And I want to be happy with my embroidery. Let's see if up here is any better. And it might just be that I need to add another one on each side. That might be okay. So again, left then right, or right then left, right then left. Same kind of pattern as the other one. There we go. Back in the groove. Back in the groove of things. These are like, they're actually really simple once you get the pattern going. You know, it's not like a really complicated pattern. It's more that you need to remember right then left, right then left. I remember where you left off. Sometimes I'll watch TV and then I'll look up and watch, and then I'll look down and I'll be like, oh, which one do I do next? Where do I go? This is going to be another one where we've got a lot of space to fill in, but not a lot of space at the bottom down here. So just be mindful that you still need to keep those lines like parallel lines on each side. Don't be tempted to start some crazy like crisscrossy kind of stuff just because you've run out of space. You make it so easy. I need to get more confidence in myself. Yes, you do. Just give it a go. And you know what? I mean, I don't think there's any embroiderer ever that's done it perfect 100% of every single time. Like, fact, I'm pretty sure that someone, I mean, I know I'm speaking for myself, but I'm trying to think of other people as well. You can always undo your stitches. You can always take them out. There's always times when I'll stitch something completely done, completely do it, finish it, and then say, that color is not nice, and cut it out or unstitch it. Because I didn't like it. And that's totally fine. Like, just because you've done it a long time, or just because you are really good with colors, or really good at teaching stitches, or whatever is maybe you're really good at making patterns. That doesn't mean that you don't ever make mistakes. Like, obviously, just give it a go. And if you hate it, take it out, rip it out, unstitch it. There's really not a lot you can do that's like super wrong with these. It's probably my last crisscross one here. And then I'm just going to add maybe one more on each side, a little bit shorter, so that it kind of shows a nice shape. I mean, it's a nice shape now, but you know what I mean. But yeah, just try it. You'll like it. Wow, I won that thread chicken. Okay, so let's flip it over and we will tie a knot. Oh, how nice. This is a bit short, so I'm going to show you how I tie a knot sometimes. If the threads are a bit short, I don't want to faff about with them. Like you're tying your shoe in a double knot. And I'll do that like 3 times. And snip the ends off. Okay, let's zoom out and we'll see what we've done. So we've got the 2 different ones like that. Let's zoom out again. There we go. So we've got the 2 different ones here. So you can totally see how they look different. This one here has got that like almost like a satin stitch feel to the very end, at the very tip. And then this one right here has the crisscross all the way from the tip to tip, all the way down with no kind of satin stitch feel. So it depends on what you like, how you like it, and what you want to do. And you've got 6 of these to do all together. It's all the ones with the little thing down the middle. And that's to help you know, one, if you would like to crisscross like this one, then you can make your line on either side. Obviously, it works a little bit better if you make them right down the middle, like that. If you have done these leaves before, you can try and make them have a bit of a curve to them. And that will be just making one side curved, you know? So making the lines on either side curved like that. And you'll get a nice little curve down the middle. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So you've got 6. I'll show them one more time. I used 6 strands for mine. If they're really small, or if you're using a smaller hoop, then you can obviously use less strands. 4 would also be nice. 3 would probably be like the least that I would use. They'll look really smooth if you use 3 strands. So we've got this one here. We've got 3 here in the middle. 1, 2, 3. 1 here on this end, and then 1 here kind of up towards these other ones. So those are the ones that you need to do. Again, I used the Fishbone Stitch, and I used 6 strands for mine, and I showed you 2 different ways to do it, plus the actual way that you're supposed to do them, which I don't do them that way. But it's exactly the same. You just go all the way to the other end, you know? You don't draw the lines. You go all the way to the edge. So try both ways. You might like to do it the proper way, quote unquote proper way, or you might like to do it the way that I do it. It's completely up to you. Give both a go and see which one you like better. So that's it from me today. Easy peasy. We're going to have tacos for dinner, so I'm quite excited. It's Tuesday, so it's like Taco Tuesday, isn't it? Alrighty, that's all I've got. I hope you have a lovely, lovely evening or day if you're in the west of us. Enjoy. Don't forget to tag me at the Barbie Fox and use hashtag the Barbie Fox SAL, so I can look at all of your lovely hoops and see all of your fishbone leaves. So enjoy, and I'll speak with you tomorrow. Bye.